Okay, would you please raise your right hand and repeat after me? I, Mary Brindle,
I, Mary Brindle,
do solemnly swear under oath
do solemnly swear under oath
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and of the state of Minnesota,
and of the state of Minnesota,
and faithfully discharge the duties
and faithfully discharge the duties
of the office of council member
of the office of council member
of the city of Edina
of the city of Edina
of the county of Hennepin
of the county of Hennepin
to the best of my judgment and ability.
to the best of my judgment and ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
If you sign. Let me have that. I'll give it to Jim. Perfect. Perfect. There you go, Jim. There you go. Do you want to hold my hand?
We ready?
Okay.
Past couple times I've had the opportunity to swear you in. I've added a little levity. All I'm going to say now is how incredibly proud I am of you.
Thank you.
This is not my law clerk. This is my executive assistant. All right. I, Ann Swenson,
I, Ann Swenson,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
under oath
under oath
that I will support
that I will support
the Constitution of the United
the
States
Constitution of the United States
and of the state of Minnesota
and of the state of Minnesota,
and faithfully discharge
and faithfully discharge
the duties of the office
the duties of the office
of council member in the city of Edina
of council member in the city of Edina
of the county of Hennepin
of the county of Hennepin
to the best of my judgment and
to
ability,
the best of my judgment and ability.
so help me God.
So help me God. Thank you.
Thank you. I, James B. Hovland,
I, James B. Humlin,
do solemnly swear under oath
do solemnly swear under oath
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the
of
Constitution
the United States
of the United States
and of the state of Minnesota,
and the state of Minnesota,
and faithfully discharge the duties
and faithfully discharge the duties
of the office of mayor
of the office of mayor
in the city of Edina
in the city of Edina,
of the county of Hennepin
county of Hennepin,
to the best of my judgment and ability.
to the best of my judgment and ability.
So help me God.
So help me God. Thank you.
Congratulations. Will you sign? Jim, will you sign? Jennifer?
All right, I think we're recording, aren't we? Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the January 8th, 2013 meeting of the Edina City Council and the Edina Housing and Redevelopment Authority. Roll call, please, Ms. Mangan.
Member Bennett? Here. Member Brindle?
Here.
Member Sprague?
Here.
Member Swenson?
Here.
Mayor Hovland?
Here. Clerk Mangan, thanks for the swearing in. It's great to have 4 more years with my colleagues. We've got a great council. Everybody pulling in the same direction to improve our wonderful community. So it's nice to be going to work in 2013 with all of you. Next, we have the approval of the form of meeting agenda. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion and a second to approve the formal meeting agenda. Discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Carried. And now the adoption of the consent agenda. Is there anyone on the council that wishes to remove an item from the consent agenda?
Yes.
Go ahead. Member Brindle.
Item D, please.
B as in boy.
D as in David.
D as in David. Thank you. Member Sprague.
Nope, that was mine.
All right. With the exception of 4D, is there a motion to approve the balance of the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, we approve the consent agenda with the exception of item 4D. Discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed say nay. Carried. And 4D, Member Brindle. Your
Thank you.
concern.
My concern with item D is designating the Edina Sun-Current the official newspaper of the city of Edina, and that means that we rely on the Edina Sun-Current to be our newspaper that publicizes all of our public notices to all residents in Edina. But not all residents in Edina receive the Edina Sun-Current because it does not get delivered to apartment buildings, townhomes, and condominiums. So I did do a little bit of work on this, and Director Benarat returned an email to me today. Thank you that there would be some copies of the Edina Sun-Current here at Edina City Hall for people who don't receive it at home. But my main concern is we are, as a city, looking for an increased number of apartments, condominiums, and high-density housing. And so we, I think, are going to need to step up with the effort to make sure that we reach homeowners and residents in these high-density locations, because we want more high-density housing in our town. And to think that our notices would not be delivered concerns me. So I have no problem with the Edina Sun-Current, but it is this policy that is my main concern. And Lisa, thanks for all your hard work. You just do a fabulous job. But it is the distribution that is my main concern.
Thank you. Member Sprague.
I have a question for Director Benarat. So are all the published notices available online as well?
Yes, Councilmember Sprague and Council, they are posted online under the public notices section of our website.
Okay, so for those in the interim until we can increase distribution, is there a way for us to, well, I guess we can't publish notice to them about using the website to get notice?
We can't.
We
Can't publish to the website in lieu of publishing.
No, I understand that was not approved by the legislature, but I mean, I'm just saying there are alternative ways for those people to get published notices. We just have to get word out to them somehow, other than through the paper, about that method of transmission to solve part of the distribution problem in the interim. Long term, I'm not sure how that can be solved. How do we change the newspaper's policies? Is that negotiated? Have we tried to negotiate that? And my other question is, how has the call center been working out? I know before people were saying they were calling in and the newspapers still weren't being delivered. So do we have any ideas on either of those topics?
I can comment on a couple of those
I can too, but
things.
why don't you go ahead?
In 2012, I personally received just one call from someone with circulation issues that was unable to get resolution through their call center in the circulation department of Sun newspapers. So that was a good number for me. Since I've been here, I've fielded sometimes dozens of calls per year in that area. Two, a large part of why American Community Newspapers has a policy that they don't deliver to apartment units and other multifamily housing developments is because those buildings are secure. They can't leave the papers inside. And the property managers won't allow them to do it in the first place because the papers blow, they cause a mess, the city gets mad at the property owner, so that's not just an Edina thing, that is system-wide for Sun newspapers.
That's what I would confirm as well in my discussions with their publisher, that they would like to put their newspaper into multifamily housings. It's easy for them. It's good for their circulation to be able to do that, to drop 100 or 200 in one spot and leave. But the building owners are asking them not to do that. So perhaps one strategy ought to be our interaction with building owners with regards to the official newspaper of the city. I would add, though, that I think it's important for council to remember that the requirement is that it be a newspaper of general circulation in the city, and they do fit that threshold, and that in many communities in Minnesota, particularly smaller communities, their newspaper is a pay subscription. So we don't have that particular burden here, but there are many places where if you want to receive the city's official newspaper, you're paying a subscription for it. So we're fortunate in that regard.
Helpful. All right, is there a motion on 4D?
So moved.
Second.
All right, discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Carried. That takes care of the consent agenda. Special recognitions and presentations. I don't believe we have any of those this evening. We would move on then to, excuse me, community comment. Is there anyone in the audience that wishes to come forward and express a concern or raise an issue with the council? Seeing no one coming forward, we'll move on to the reports and recommendations portion of the agenda. And the first matter in front of us this evening in that portion of the agenda is Resolution 2013-8, accepting various donations. We have a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion and a second to adopt Resolution 2013-8, accepting various donations. Discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed say nay. Carried. Donations this reporting period, a substantial number of donations to the Braemar Golf Course Memorial Fund, and then Edina Communications Department, Rotary Club of Edina Foundation, nice gift there for AV equipment, and then the Edina Police Department had a couple of substantial contributions from both NC Little Memorial Hospice and the Edina Crime Fund. And those will all be posted up, thank you, posted up on the website. And the next matter is the reappointments to advisory boards, commissions, and committees. There's a recommended slate for reappointment, people that have been serving us well and are seeking reappointment, still eligible for reappointment. Is there a motion on that matter?
So moved. Second.
Got a motion and a second. With regard to this particular matter, I did see one typographical error on their park board. It's Louise Segreto, not Louis Segreto, with that correction. Okay. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed say nay. Carried. And then volunteer recognition reception. You need to pick a night for that. Either what's been recommended is either the 29th or 30th of April.
Did the date we picked last time not work? Is that the problem?
That is the problem.
What date did we pick?
It conflicted with an event of the Human Rights and Relations Commission. They're kind of their major event. For the year.
Their major bowling and Edina Reads, right?
Okay. Anybody have a preference?
I would do the 30th. I have,
You got a Monday the 29th conflict?
actually, no, that's
29th of April?
either one, actually. I'm sorry. That's,
Okay.
yeah.
I prefer the 30th, but I could make the 29th work.
Staff-wise, is one night better than another?
Between the 29th and the 30th?
Yep.
No. Both are good.
Okay. For the volunteers that are being recognized in all the different organizations, do we think one night would be better than another? Mary, you've done this many years. Seems to me that whatever night we select, they're always there.
Yeah.
Well, let's go with Mary's preference of the 30th.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
All right, we've got a motion to designate Tuesday, April 30th, 2013 as the date for the annual volunteer recognition reception.
So moved.
Second?
And further discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, say nay. Carried. And now, correspondence and petitions. Anything on the dais other than what we've received?
No, sir.
Anything new coming in? Okay. Mayor and council comments. Member Sprague.
Oh, thank you. My first comment is welcome back officially to my colleagues. It is an honor and privilege to serve with you. And I've learned a lot from each and every one of you, and I've enjoyed our work. Like you said, Mayor, we're working on improving the quality of life and continuing the tradition of excellence and innovation in the city of Edina. I was going to ask Director Houle about a sound wall update, but it appears that there will be a neighborhood informational meeting about the west wall on Highway 100 leading just on the east side of 100 where the 50th and Vernon off-ramp is going south on 100. So there will be an informational meeting on that coming up. I think there's good news all around for that section with some projects being moved up on the MnDOT list. We received some correspondence about trash bins being left out after pickup day. I have noticed this problem along the routes near my house. Talked to staff about it. Director Teague's not here. It sounds as though staff is putting together a strategic plan to address this, to get out some educational materials and also to start some sweeps. Can you comment a little more on that, Manager New?
I spoke with Sherry Engelman and her staff about this particular issue. They've already started to address this issue that was raised with you on Valley View, I believe, right? But also taking a look at where this is occurring in different kind of pockets around the community, and they have some idea just from calls that we get about where those are, and to start doing a little bit more self-directed patrols of those areas rather than just waiting for the calls to come in.
And then what's the protocol once a trash can is noticed outside?
They get our protocol so far has been they get a notification from us that they need to remedy the situation, and they get a little stronger notification from us if they don't remedy the situation. We've not had too many of these that go past the second letter.
I noticed that it appears, at least on 70th, and that's a pretty long road, it appears as though it's mostly newer residents who might not know the city ordinance, so that might be an area of communication for the health department and communications and technology. Thank you. And then finally, a representative from City of Minneapolis did an update to the bike task force in December. They did a presentation of some of the bike facilities in Minneapolis. I was going to bring that to council and to the public last meeting, but I wanted them to annotate the slides with the locations for each of these facilities. So now let's take a look at the show. What do I have to do?
It's going to be too far, isn't it?
Want to just go through it? Okay. Yep. So here's what our neighbors to the north are doing. This is a dedicated bike lane on First Avenue South. You'll see, important thing to notice here is they're using bike, the symbol they're using is the bicycle itself, not with the rider. I think they've chosen that because it's just clearer, and obviously it's understandable to the drivers. You don't necessarily need a rider mounted on that to get the symbol right. Here's another one, closer view, and Director Hoole's not here either, but we were talking about the application, and they do a different application. It's not painted on. It's actually some type of stencil, maybe something like the ones we use on the brick sidewalk pedestrian crossings, but they tend to last quite a bit longer, so that might be something we want to look into. This is a bike lane on 5th Avenue South with some, you can see where there's an advisory portion of it as you head further down the street. buffered bike lanes, which is a dedicated bike lane, and then with some cross-hatched section between the main transportation route and the bike lane itself. So when we had discussion about our facility on Valley View, they, instead of doing the buffering, we did a wider fog lane. But this is something on a wider street. If you want to create that buffer, it's a good idea. This is on First Avenue, where you have a little bit higher speeds. It's a one-way, if you've ever driven down there. And then again, Park Avenue, which is, you're probably getting 40, 45 miles an hour traveling down that one way.
30 now. It's changed to
30 now?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
With those bike lanes.
But the designs, well, the actual speed probably is still higher, even though the posted, we have that problem everywhere we go. Hence the buffer. All right, so here's the advisory bike lanes. This is on 14th Street. You can see in this application, you have a lot of daytime parking, so it helps to delineate the right-of-way quite a bit. In our application, we have people going southbound that are traveling on the outside of the advisory lane, and then people going northbound are actually drifting into the parking lane. Closer up view. Here's the green lanes, and this would be on a higher volume street where it's really important to raise the awareness of the drivers. And a cycle track. So you have complete separation. Actually, the cycle track, go through another slide. There's only one slide on that one. So you can see the delineation there. And then bike traffic signals, so you can see on the right is for the auto, and on the left you see a little bicycle green telling them where to go. Here's another one. This is on campus. Mm-hmm. And then it goes into that green lane. So these facilities in combination really make it safe and also encourage people to get onto these pathways. And then here's in shared lane markers. Sometimes they do them. This is on Bryant. Sometimes they'll do it, in large format like this, and also sometimes they'll have green around it. And this is an enhanced shared lane. So here it's advisory. Cars can go into that, but it's just kind of demarcating where the bike path is within the roadway. But again, it's a shared part of the right-of-way. And there's, again, on Bryant, so at the southern portion of Bryant, you have the enhanced sharrows, and then down here by the park, where you have more parking and more things happening, they've enhanced the enhanced sharrow with this green marking. And a bike box, so this is at intersections, so they have a safer place to stop before they continue on their path. This is Pleasant and University, so kind of a highly frequented intersection. And then there's the enhanced marking for the bike boulevard, just as a notice to cars that you're going to have bikes going on this identified pathway within the city. There's a little bike. These are some street signs that have that's an interesting application, isn't it? To have, instead of a separate bike boulevard sign or bikeway sign, you can actually incorporate it into the street sign itself. Mm-hmm. I like that. And then the wayfinding signs to the integral connections or locations. This says Bridge 9. And then here's directing you to other bike facilities: Nicollet Mall, Loring Bikeway? Yeah. Loring Bikeway. And then Park and Portland Avenue. Okay. So, in combination, just put yourself in the position of a user of being on a bike in Minneapolis and what that experience is like. And all these different facilities are used in combinations and in different, they're context sensitive. They obviously have different applications in different places. And together they form a coherent, safe bike environment and we have started to emulate part of the system. With the improvements we made last year, it's starting to look more like a network than just a bunch of disparate facilities. And I think as we continue forward, hopefully we can create the same environment, not only for the safety of the biker, but also to get people out and doing biking as an alternative mode of transportation. That's all I have for you. Thanks.
Good. Thank you. Member Swenson.
I got an email forwarded of a request that I'd like to pass on. There was a little third grade boy, Quinn Kirsch, who passed away Monday of cardiac arrest, and his family go to OLG. And they're part of the Edina Hockey Association family. And they have requested green balloons out starting Thursday morning around town, in front of people's houses, in front of, or tied onto their doors if you can't get helium. I know Jerry's is putting together green balloons, Cub Foods, and the paper place out, Party City, thank you. So that's this Thursday, January 10th, and he has some brothers that I'm sure will feel really glad to see the support that our city could give, and if we could put some green balloons on City Hall, Jennifer, that would be great. Thanks.
Thank you.
That's
Thanks
it.
for making that announcement. Member Bennett.
I'll be very brief. Welcome back. It's delightful to be engaged in such, I think, meaningful and important work with people who are so dedicated. So pleased to see people back.
Member Brindle.
Thank you. Alluded to this briefly in the work session we held earlier. I attended the meeting of the 50th in France Business Association Board of Directors and on Wednesday, January 2nd, and they are they're putting in place an effort to invite council members from Edina and Minneapolis to their meetings so that we have a direct connection with them and understand more what the business owners in the area, their concerns and their needs as we look at some of the challenging situations of increasing parking in that area.
Good. Thank you. Thanks for making that announcement about Quinn Kirsch, little 8-year-old guy, had a cardiac arrest problem.
He had a pacemaker.
So I think the visitation is tomorrow afternoon, 4 to 7, I think. And then the funeral's on Thursday. So I think
Yep.
that's
But Thursday
terrific.
morning
Thank you.
is their request,
So our sympathies to his family. It's a really tragic situation. The only other thing I wanted to report on was that the 2 engineering firms have been selected for Southwest LRT, Kimley Horn and AECom, both from out of town. Kimley Horn will design the work on the east half of the 15-mile line, and AECom will do the western half. Each contract's for about $16.8 million, and as the council recalls, and just a reminder to the community, when this line is up and running in 2018, immediately start serving about 210,000 jobs along that corridor, anticipated to increase by an additional 60,000 jobs by 2030. So it's going to be a terrific amenity to have very close to Edina, with many stops that we could access in St. Louis Park, Hopkins, and Eden Prairie, and Minnetonka. So that's it for me. Good to see you all after the holidays. Good to start out the year together for a lot of reasons. So thank you. Manager Neal.
Yes, Your Honor, just 2 quick things. One, was February 12th going to work for council members for the new normal workshop? And we need to give them a response about if that date works or not. If it doesn't, then they're going to kind of push us into the next cycle, which would push that date off into like the June, July time period.
What's the time?
there isn't a time set yet, but I'm
That's the
presuming
ULI.
it'd be
Is
like,
it 3 hours or?
I think it's 2 hours.
Okay.
So it'd be
So
in
it could be
lieu
at
of,
6 o'clock. I think they've envisioned an evening.
so it's the off week from a council
Yep.
meeting?
It is. Yeah.
Yep, I just have ULI presentation
Yeah.
written down.
ULI,
so-
that's what it is.
Yeah, so they'll, okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
I left my phone in my coat, that was my calendar in it, but I can tell you right afterwards, I'll take a
Give them
look.
the okay.
Okay.
All right. They're lining up panelists to be there, so they want to commit to a date.
Okay.
All right. The only other thing I have for you is I'm going to hand something down to you. Over the last year, you may recall a discussion at the state level. There was some legislation being proposed by the National Association of Industrial Owners of Property, or NIOP, that was carried by Representative Downey, and it had to do with city budgeting and how to transform city budgeting into something that would presumably be more useful to the business community. That legislation did not pass. However, NIOP continued to work with its members to take a look at that issue. I continue to work with them. We have a number of, as you might guess, a number of NIOP members who live in Edina as residents and who were interested in that subject. So we continue to work with them as a pilot city. And this morning, we've been providing them data, and then this morning Eric Rogman and I met with the NIOP group that was coordinating this, most of whom were Edina residents, and went through this data together. And they really were very appreciative of that effort, and I think proud of what the numbers told them as business people. And we got good marks for it. So I just wanted you to know that. And this is information that they've produced, and they're going to continue to kind of pursue this agenda with other cities, and at the state level, whether they get any cooperation or not is yet to be seen. But they did appreciate our willingness to engage with them, and we have, as far as they're concerned, good numbers. So that's all I've
Good.
got.
Thank you, very interesting data. All right. Anything else from anyone? Stand adjourned.
Scott,